In this video, I'm going to reveal some updates to my streaming setup. I'll be covering all the gear I use, how I integrate retro consoles, and sharing tips to help you reach your streaming goals. But first, let's revisit where it all started. This tiny room was where my streaming journey all began. Can you believe I managed to stream and make videos in such a cramped space? Not even enough room for me! Well, where did you come from? Anyway, even though I've moved to a much bigger space, it just goes to show that size doesn't actually limit your creativity. Yeah. That wasn't an innuendo. Anyway, if you're worried about your streaming space being too small, then don't be. Right, let's go over the gear I use, and we'll start with the camera. I started off with a Logitech C920 webcam. It's the one you've probably heard loads of streamers talk about, and it's great. So after a couple of years of using this, I really wanted to upgrade to something I could use for YouTube videos too. So I ended up getting a proper camera, which is this Sony Alpha 6400. The quality is amazing, and it's definitely brought the production quality of my streams up quite a bit. The only downside is that now everybody can see every bag and crack on my old face now. You're so old. You're just me in a costume. Moving on to the mic, for the longest time I was using this Blue Yeti microphone, and again it was great. It was absolutely perfect for the tiny room I was in because it just worked and sounded awesome. The issue rose when I moved here to a bigger room and it was picking up my cat in the background as well as loads of people outside. That's when I decided I needed to upgrade to a dynamic mic which would cut off a lot of the room noise, or at least allow me to control it. I wish I could control the sounds in my head. Whoa, what sounds? Okay, moving on. So next up, the keyboard, and I'll just let you know, I've never really been into expensive keyboards. I've always bought cheap ones until this 8-bit do, or dough, however you want to pronounce it, until they announced that they were releasing keyboards modeled on the NES and Famicom. I mean, look at it, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the compact size, and it doesn't take up that much room on the desk. I still haven't found a use for the two big buttons though. And while I'm here, I'll just mention the mouse. I just have this really cheap Corsair mouse that is totally fine, it does the job and has a fancy light, but it's nothing special. Did you know 8-bit do also do a mouse model on the NES? Yeah, I've seen that and it looks really cool. I should have a proper look into it because it probably would look good on a desk, wouldn't it? Anyway, moving on to the Elgato Stream Deck. I use the mid-sized version, which I absolutely love. This enables me to control things like OBS scenes, music, sound effects, and much more. At some point, I'm going to upgrade to one of the bigger versions because I'm really greedy and I just want more buttons to press. Can I have your old one if you're upgraded? Why, are you going to start streaming or something? Nah, just so I can sell it to get more rings. Nope, I'd slide that, mate. Okay, moving on to these two monitors. So when I first started, I just had a single screen, but quickly realised I was going to need two. There's a lot of juggling you have to do when streaming, as you have things like the game, the chat, web browsers, music players, Discord, so many things. Just lots of things that are just messy to deal with, especially with a single screen. You know, at least one person's gonna comment saying you can fit a CRT on there. Yep, every time. So let's now talk about lighting. I use two Elgato key lights now in front of me and they're awesome. You can adjust brightness and temperature right from your PC or phone. And for a backlight, it's a massive ring light, and to be honest, it has a habit of falling on me. It's quite dangerous actually. That's why I've had to get creative with some tape to keep it in place. No expense spared there. I also have a couple of cheap floodlights, which just add a bit of flourish to the background, as well as these Christmas lights. Did you forget to take them down, Steve? Yes, I did. I think it's also worth mentioning my PC at this point because it's something a lot of people are interested in with these stream tour videos. I only stream retro games, like I mentioned before, and that's through a capture card, so the most my PC has to deal with is me streaming and editing videos, so it's pretty bare bones. I was never really intended to be something I'd use to play the latest and greatest. Well, you have played the greatest! Well, that's up for debate. Okay, let's move on to retro consoles. So in order to get one of these connected to my PC, I mainly need two things. An upscaler to upscale video output from the console so it can be used with modern screens, and a capture card so we can grab that output to use in our streaming platforms such as OBS. And that means you can stream all my games too? Don't talk to them, that's my job. So to wrap this up then, I hit Twitch Partner recently, and I think some people might come into my stream and see that check mark and think, oh, I need all of this gear that this person's got to do well. and it's not quite like that. I think you should only upgrade gear when you know it's right for you to do so. That's what will make your stream unique to you.
Talking about upgrading, when you gonna upgrade these horrible headphones, Steve? They're disgusting.
Oh, we've run out of time. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.
You what?